Hey, how are you? Here with my dad, Fernando. Say hello.
Hey, how are you? I'm gonna be able to fly this machine.
So today we have our 737 cockpit. We're gonna do a cold start, starting at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Go through all the startup procedures and see if my dad can take off today on this 737. So let's get started. So how are you feeling today?
I'm just fine.
Fine. Okay, so let's go. We'll start with the battery. So I'll be pointing to my dad where he has to press so we can do the sequence. So we're going to start here on the battery switch. You can pull that down, have battery power. Now we're going to turn on our electronics here. So if you can, the switch or just a white switch here, there you go. And you turn this one on the bottom. There you go. And the bottom one. Cool. So we have that set. So we can now turn on the lights. If you can click here on the bottom, you have the panel lights. And let's turn on the lights here. If you go to the right, that switch for the overhead. So now we got some power in the overhead, and if we can turn this switch on, that takes care of the overhead lights. And next we're going to do the ground power. So right now we don't have a power source, so we're going to connect to ground power, and that's this one right here. There we have ground power. And next one we're going to do, let's open the cabin doors here. We have our cabin doors open. And now we're going to start our APU. And let me start this one here. Sometimes this one gives us a little bit of problems. And let's start her up. Okay, so we got our APU. Sorry, had a little problem with the phone there, but our APU is going. We're sitting here in Schiphol Airport, gate E4. And we're waiting for the APU to become available. Almost reaching 100%. Have APU available. So what we're going to do now is let's turn off the ground power. And we're going to switch our APU generator, which is this one here. So now we're getting electricity from the APU. And if you can switch that knob there to the 7 o'clock position. So go all the way down, one more. There you go. One back. So that's going to give us our airport diagram, Schiphol Airport. Right there on gate E4. So now let's turn on our fuel pumps. So that's fuel pump number 1, fuel pump number 2 for the right engine, and we're going to turn our hydraulic pumps and electric pumps, which are the two ones on top. If you can switch those two switches there. So now we have hydraulics, and we're going to check and see if we have free and correct flights. Or if our yoke is free and correct, all our flight controls. So we're going to switch here. Let me try to find the window for our flight controls.
Plate 3 traffic, 5 mile heavy 777, descending right up
And door control. There's our flight controls. So I'm going to ask you to pull on the yoke all the way. So we're testing, pull all the way. So there we got our elevator, left and right.
15 heavy caution for a Mylar balloon report.
There's our aileron, all the way to the left. There we go. Then we're going to do rudder. You do the pedals, push all the way to the left. There we go, all the way to the right. So our flight controls are free and correct. So now, next, let's advise the cabin crew we're about to push back. So if you can click on the seatbelt button up here. Turn our no smoking sign on. And so I think we're ready to push back. Let's turn on our lights. So if you can turn all these 4 lights, those are the navigation lights and the wing lights and our strobe lights and beacon lights. So now we're ready to push back. So if you can flip that button on the left over there that says pushback request. It's going to call our push card, and then we just need to release the parking brakes, which are here. If you can push that. Cool. So we're pushing back, and let's start our engine sequence here. So let's start with engine number 2. We can click here on engine number 2. That's going to start the right engine. So down here will be our fan speed. Let that wait till it gets to 25, and then we'll go ahead and add fuel. If you can click on the right button here, on this one here. There we go. So we have fuel, and number 2 is on. And now we're gonna switch engine number 1. So if you can click on number 1. You gotta wait until this gets to 25 here. That's our N2, or N1. So we got 25. Click it. The left one. There we go. So now we got number 1 started. Our pushback is complete. So let's clean up the panel here. So let's go ahead and turn on our engine bleeds. If you can turn these 2 on, the engine bleed number 1 and engine bleed number 2. So now we're running still electricity on the APU, so let's switch it to the bus generator. So by switching bus, we're going to turn off the APU generator, this one here, turn it off. So we lost our power, and now we're going to switch it to the generators, which is this one here and the one on the bottom. So now we're getting our electricity from the engine generators, and we can turn off the APU. If you can flick the switch up to off, so that turns off our APU. And let's turn on the taxi lights, which is this switch right here. So now we got taxi lights, and we're ready to taxi. Let's put our flaps in takeoff position. So if you can put this lever on 5, you can pull. Put it on 5. There we go. Let it go. And one less here. There we go. 5. So that's our APU going off. So we're ready to taxi. So you steer the airplane with the tiller here. So if you go forward, you go right. If you go backwards, you go left. And all we need to do is you just need to add a little power to the engine. So you can grab the thrust and just put it 25% up, and then you'll start moving. There we go, start creeping there. And then if you press the toe brakes, it's going to stop the plane, so you need to release those. There you go. And then you can steer with that one. If you go, let's move a little bit to the right. Let's try to follow that yellow taxi line over there. And if you can switch that gear that knob there to the 6 o'clock position. This one here. Put it to the 7 o'clock. One more. There. That way we can see our airport map. Go back to the cabin view. There we go. And then just follow that line. Follow the left one. Go to the left. There we go. The left one over here. Way over here. Over here. There you go. So let's follow that one. And try to keep it on the center line. I'll help you here with the thrust. So we're gonna go keep on straight, and we're gonna try to go to runway 18 left. So if you can follow that line. Okay, we're getting close to runway 18 left. There's my dad doing all the taxiing. I'm handling the throttles here. We already have flaps 5. There, we're approaching 18 left. So now we're going to turn, if you can turn your landing lights on, which is on the panel on the top, the landing lights all the way to the left. There you go. There we have landing lights, and just follow and center with the runway.
Approaching 18 left.
There, we're approaching 18 left. So just center with the runway, go all the way to the right. All the way, a little bit more. And there's runway 18.
On runway 18 left.
So try to stay in the middle, and I'll manage the thrust here. Signal, let's signal our cabin up here. Ready for takeoff. Go 50%, stabilize the engines. But you still have to grab the tiller because it might go left or right. And let's go takeoff power. And airspeed alive, 80 knots. Got 80 knots there. And try to keep it in the center line. And we got B1, B2 rotate, so pull on the yoke, a little bit, not too much. You can stall it, well, pull it forward, nose down, there we go. That was a 90% climb there, 90-degree climb, gear up. Now you're flying the plane. So let's clean our flaps. Back to flap 0. And you can fly around, you can do whatever you want.